It's hard to visualize, but 30 million years ago, this was the site of the largest documented volcanic event in Earth's history. The Garita Volcano, which is now the Garita caldera, blew about 5,000 cubic kilometers of debris into the Earth's atmosphere. And to put that into perspective, the dreaded supervolcano of Yellowstone, when it blew, it only put 2,000 cubic kilometers in. The practical upshot of that is that it pushed a lot of very valuable minerals, gemstones, like amethyst, silver, and gold, into the surrounding mountains. And since we need that, the mines sprung up. And around those mines, Creede. So welcome to Creede, Colorado. The same may seem fairly obvious since we're called tourist trekking, but one of our first stops in any place is the Tourist Info Center. So let's go ahead inside and see what we can learn about this wonderful area. So I'm here at the Visitors Information Center with Pam. So as we're just getting into the area, is there something that we need to see right off the bat to kind of get the best idea?
The biggest tourist thing people like to do is drive the Batchelor Loop, which is a historic Batchelor Loop. It's a tour. You drive your own car.
Yeah.
17 miles loop up into the cliffs above town, and you'll pass the silver mines we had in the 1890s. And this little book will give you a history of each of the mines, what they did up there. We do have an underground mining museum where they blew out the side of a mountain and built a museum in there. So you can walk through and get an idea of what they went through, what they did back in the mining days.
Oh, well, I'll definitely check that one out, too.
It's hard work.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Just a couple hundred yards north of the town is the fire station, a museum, and the community center dug into the rock. And how appropriate is that for an old mining town to have the whole thing just dug into the side of the mountain, all blasted out? Hopefully it's open when you guys stop by. It's pretty cool. One of the biggest draws of this area is the Bachelor Mine Tour. And if you missed the information at the Visitors Center, there's a nice kiosk that shows you all the information that you need before you get started. We took the Bachelor Mine Tour up north of Creede through all the mines and ran into this, the Last Chance Mine. And it is one of the coolest places we've been. So come with us and check this amazing place out.
Well, guys, welcome to the Last Chance Mine. My name is Jack Morris. I'm the owner of the mine. I bought the mine back in 1998. This is number 2 level. Behind us here, this is the level we're currently working on for an underground walking tour next year. 13 level attaches to the Amethyst mine at the bottom of the canyon. We are the only mine in the state of Colorado that you can rock collect at. Our amethyst, sow-belly agate, silver ore, and turquoise can be found down in the mine dump. So we hope you guys enjoy your visit with us, and thank you for coming in and letting me share my home with you. That's going to be a nice piece.
Take it.
Right, I was
Hi.
squinting now.
Hi.
I'm Jordan with Tourist Trekking.
Hi. Nice to meet you, Jordan.
My name's Margaret.
Margaret, Jack.
I'm Jack Morris.
Well, how long have you guys been getting this going as a museum and as a preservation site?
Well, actually, I started it in 1998. That was the first time that I had the ability to try to preserve some of our mining history.
Sure.
So, and you know, I've been working on it ever since.
So what's your future plan for this site?
Well, my future plans is to keep expanding it. We try to bring back at least one building a year.
So what do you hope to get people interested in? What are the main attractions for this historic site?
Well, my main idea is just to preserve our mining history for future generations. You know, I believe that if we do not preserve our history for the next generations to learn from and see, they don't understand mining.
Right.
And we want families to be able to come here and collect and dig their own rock, get a history lesson, a geology lesson, and be able to enjoy this site.
Well, if you don't mind, can we head into that mine and I have to admit I've never been inside a mine. Done some weird stuff in my life, but I'm slightly nervous about that one.
Well, Jordan, there's nothing to be nervous about. It's a hard rock mine. It's nice and stable. We're doing the restoration work. We're lighting it with state-of-the-art LED lighting so everybody can see things. You're going to see the Amethyst Vein, what other people have only heard about, and see it firsthand for yourself, and you will be amazed.
Well, let's give it a shot then.
All right.
So you said there are 3 other mines below this one. How many tunnels are actually in, or how many miles of tunnels are in this mountain?
Well, in this mountain alone, this is known as Bachelor Mountain, there's actually about 200 miles of tunnels that interconnect. The 3 major mines interconnected through a haulage way that come out down at the Commodore mine called the Humphreys Tunnel. And this was driven in so they could drop the ore down through the mountain and haul it out rather than to bring it back up.
Right.
But there's over 200 miles of these tunnels. That creates a natural aspiration to this mine. The air down below being cooler, us being warmer up here, we get a natural convection up through the mountain. It comes through, it follows all these passageways, it brings fresh air to us all the time. This level alone, which is level number 2, has between 3 and 4 miles in this. We have one more level higher up. That was the main exploration level, number 1. 13 level is 1,300 feet below us in the bottom of the canyon connecting to the Amethyst mine. So we'll put our hard hats on. We'll get ready to head into the mine so we can document what we've done already.
Said I know nothing about mining. I've never even been inside them.
Now this here is the Amethyst Vein. This is what many, many people have heard about when they come to Creede.
Yes,
Everybody talks about it, but nobody's seen it except the miners.
because it's a
Because
quarter mile into the.
It's inside the mountain and nobody gets to come in here. As we get down here lower, you'll notice this. This is the amethyst. This is the amethyst and sow belly agate. Now, I don't know if we're gonna be lucky enough to get a piece out. Put your hand down there, Jordan. Catch that. I haven't touched it yet. So you get to touch the first piece of rock that's been touched in 40 million years. There you go. There's your first piece of amethyst.
Let me zoom in right quick,
You have to.
light it.
It's almost like a geode
It really
kind of
is.
color.
Now, this is the material that I look for. And when I look for this is what I cut and polish and make jewelry out of.
You have to come and see this. As soon as this place opens, people need to come and see this. Oh, good God.
You missed? Did you get that one?
Was that on for that one?
Oh, good God.
Holy crap. I've seen videos of coal mining and salt mines and all that, where it's nice, it's clean and all that. I mean, these people had balls of steel.
Yes, these were awesome men. I feel really honored to be able to just remotely following their footsteps. Well, hope you guys got some good stuff.
You need to come here.
Garden tomatoes, garden basil, homemade noodles, and shrimp in a tomato sauce with Italian seasonings
And red pepper.
and red pepper.
That's pretty much it, isn't it?
Doesn't get any better, does it?
I know.
And then the theater tonight. And fresh garlic.
So I'm here with Sarah, one of the managers for the Creede Repertory Theater. If you haven't been to Creede, this is why you should come here. So how long have you been in Creede?
The Creede Repertory Theater has been in Creede since 1966. That was the very first season. There was a group of people in town that were interested in trying to revitalize this area, and one of the ideas that they struck upon was to see if they could invite potentially some college students to come here and to start a theater company. They sent out a series of letters to colleges within our region and only got one response, and that was from a student, a 19-year-old world student at the University of Kansas named Steve Grossman, who pulled it off a bulletin board and replied and said that he wanted to do this.
Because you guys are now, I mean, it's internationally known for most of the stuff you do here.
Yes, we are definitely nationally recognized for our work. We have company members and people and patrons and supporters from all over the U.S. as well as some international people. We're the oldest repertory theater in the state of Colorado, and we're also one of the only a handful of true repertory theaters that still produce theater that way in the United States.
So what's the difference between a repertory theater and a standard just player production? Yeah.
It's a good question because a lot of people don't know what repertory means, and the difference between a standard format and repertory means a rotation of plays. And so typically it's within what they call an ensemble company, so a large group of people, actors, working on multiple shows in multiple different parts, basically all at the same time.
Okay.
And that was something that they decided to do way back in 1966, and it was for very practical reasons. They wanted to be able to give people as many different options to see a show in a small amount of time. And that is something that has stayed with us for 50 years. We're celebrating our 50th season this year in 2015, so it's really exciting.
Well, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, do you do any, are there any cast members that actually do any of the writing or the compositions for the
We
company?
definitely do have company members that also take a role in writing as well as producing theater works. That's another thing that's very important to us, and in some ways has been a part of the organization since maybe the second season, which is to produce original work. And so we formalized that about 10 years ago under a program that we call the Headwaters New Play Festival. And that is taking company-produced artists from both our company and this region producing new and original work. And so we see our role really as a place for them to bring that work to life, and that's a long process. So there's from the very first script, there's tons of revisions. There's a lot of conversation that happens from the time they write it to the time it's produced on the stage.
And so you work with them through the whole process.
That's correct. And so we sort of shepherd them along. If we feel like it's something that we do want to produce at CRT, we complete that whole cycle with them. And so basically from the very first step through to the end of the stage.
Sure. Wow, that's an amazing thing to do.
Yeah, it is, and it gives people an opportunity to stretch their wings. So we have people that are in a certain job here, that are interested perhaps in something completely different like playwriting. So it allows them to really step outside and expand and grow as a person and an artist.
Well, with that in mind, do you do any of the stuff that involves like education for students or high school kids or any of that stuff?
We do a young audience outreach tour, which is original works to about 20,000 rural and underserved kids in a 4-state area. So Colorado, Utah, Arizona.
So the company actually from here tours out and
that's right.
does high schools and colleges?
That's right. It's a much smaller group. So we'll take usually a 2 or 3 person group and then one person as a stage manager to help them through, and that group goes out and tours. And they'll tour about 75 schools.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for your time. We'll be in the audience. I understand tonight's a opening night.
It is. It's the opening of August Osage County, which is a Pulitzer Prize-winning play. It's directed by Christy Monser Larson, who is pretty famous and well-known in the Denver theater scene.
Sure.
And so it's a really excellent work. We're very excited about it.
Cool. Yeah, we'll be in the audience with you.
Good.
The standard hand gestures are hard to see.
Yep.
I expected to feel way more claustrophobic about it.